Hey guys, I got here today for us a special guest. His name is David Sneider. He was part of the founding team of a SaaS company acquired by LinkedIn. He's been in the crypto space since 2013, and he is also the founder of Hello Apricot, a new NFT marketplace. So welcome to this video, David. I appreciate you taking the time to be with us today.
Thanks, Albert. Very excited to be talking to you.
Hey man, so just tell me a little bit. My first question for you is, why did you start a marketplace? Like, what's the reason why? What brought you into this space?
Yeah, that's great. So there's kind of it's a twofold answer. One is about this space in general, and then one is specific about the marketplace that we've built. This space in general, one of the most exciting things about the internet age is kind of the fracturing of culture into a bunch of different niches. And at this point, already 50 million people have generated some revenue and some income based on their unique craft, creating, influencing that they're generating. And this is something that is deeply exciting culturally and societally. So being able to kind of support this wave of creators by, of course, enabling individuals to generate earnings directly from their audience, not in the ad-supported model, not in the way where they're signing away intellectual property rights is really exciting. And then I'm sure we'll get into this, but in our marketplace specifically, we've engineered it in such a way that it is for the mainstream consumer and the mainstream creator. All the crypto complexity is totally hidden in the background. And so for us, there was an obvious opportunity to build this marketplace for beyond just the visual artists, for all creators across all different niches. And again, we can get into some more details there around what we're doing with perks related to the NFTs, but that's the high level.
Okay. Hey man, I that's one of the things that really interested me was the removing the complexity, right? Because when you talk about crypto, you talk about getting a MetaMask wallet, onboarding users. There's a lot of creators who have, they already have audiences, right? Mm-hmm. But their audience is not crypto aware. They don't know what NFTs are. They don't know anything about this stuff. And to try to get them, I have a marketing background. And so I understand that trying to onboard people into the crypto space, somebody who's crypto aware, who's interested in cryptocurrency as an investment into the future, as an early adopter, that's one thing. But getting an average person to do the MetaMask, to get Ethereum, to do all the cryptocurrency complexity, I definitely see that as a major hurdle that none of these marketplaces are really challenging. Or some of them do. Some of them allow you to use credit cards, but a lot of them are the gated invite only marketplaces. So that was one of the things that really attracted me to the way that Hello Apricot is doing things. So yeah, I've had a chance to meet with David before and with you before. And so I had some questions. I went to my Facebook group. I have a NFT Facebook group, and I had a chance to ask them, some of them tested the platform, some of them had questions. So I have some questions here for you. If you want to go through them with me here. So one of the first questions was, when they mint something, an older mint, like something that they've already minted before, why would they no longer be able to see them on their profile? And why aren't they on the marketplace? And I think that's already answered because you guys just implemented the marketplace, correct?
Yeah. So I mean, that's a specific question. So when people mint on Apricot, they can see their NFTs on their profile. And basically there's two categories. There's drops, and then there's the marketplace. So a marketplace is for secondary sales, and then a drop is like the primary sale when you upload a new NFT. I think it might be useful for maybe me to just kind of like say what Apricot is.
Yes.
To get into some of these specifics. So Apricot is a platform for creators and then their audience to buy NFTs that is entirely point and click, takes no blockchain knowledge, just uploading an image. And a big thing that we have is, even though the NFT is fully decentralized and running on blockchain, the ability to add centralized perks to that, whether it's exclusive content, meet and greets, merch, and just being able to do that in a point and click way. And then the system does all of the fulfillment automatically.
Okay, so you said image. So just to be clear, that you allow multiple different formats, right? This is not just video or images. Like you allow. What are the formats that you allow as NFTs?
Everything. The only constraint that we have is the NFTs are constrained to a 1 by 1.41 frame, which is like an A4 piece of paper, a rectangle basically. But other than that, we've seen some folks upload static images, videos, GIFs. Audio can be included on the videos, obviously. So it's totally open in terms of what the physical NFT is, and then in terms of the perks that are associated with the NFT, those can be anything as well.
So you said the aspect ratio is limited. So is that going to change at all, or is that kind of a permanent thing? Because I know some people like to create in different aspects.
Yeah, currently it's fixed. If we have some requests for introducing other aspect ratios, we'll certainly kind of consider it. But it just is a nice way to have it constrained visually from a design perspective.
Got you. Yeah, it does make sense to make it to display it the same way. So my second question that I have from the group is how do the payments work? Because it is not, you obscure the cryptocurrency in the back end. Like how do they get paid? How's that whole process work as a creator? And then how does it work as a purchaser, as a buyer or collector?
Excellent. So we'll take those two parts. So on the creator side, the creator withdraws their funds via Stripe. And on the buyer side, currently we support credit card. We'll be implementing Pay with Coinbase shortly. So buyers can use credit card or any of the cryptos that are supported by Coinbase, which is of course Bitcoin and Ethereum and a number of other tokens. And so when the creator generates their earnings, we have a platform fee of 15%. Then they're able to withdraw their earnings via Stripe. It's a pretty simple portal where they just go in, upload their name and their information, the bank account number, and then the withdrawal is processed automatically from there.
Okay, that's cool. Stripe is I've used Stripe for a long time. I like Stripe. So if somebody doesn't have a Stripe account, your platform actually helps set them up with that.
Yep, it's pretty easy, and I think it's something like Stripe Connect is something supporting like 62 countries. And if somebody
Wow.
for a platform that was in a non-Stripe compliant country, we'd be happy to just pay out via TransferWise or whatever it might be. There's really no limitations geographically.
Okay, and you said Coinbase. You're going to be linking with Coinbase, which is exciting. How are you guys doing that? Are you guys doing that with a Coinbase wallet with the private keys or the Coinbase? Like how are you guys implementing that connection?
Coinbase has a button for merchants. It's called Coinbase for Business. Any e-commerce merchant basically put a checkout with crypto button on a checkout page. So it's through that.
Cool. And so it accepts all of the tokens that they're accepting.
Right. And then converts them to a USD stable coin upon receipt.
Okay. So that's cool. So when somebody makes the purchase, it converts it to a stable coin. So that way the fluctuations aren't felt by the artist.
Exactly. So from the artist perspective, everything can be thought about occurring in US dollars, and then collectors can pay in various denominations.
Very cool. I like that. Okay. So, so another question I had, this was from a collector, right? They bought an NFT. Where does it go? And do they need a wallet?
They currently don't need a wallet. We have a gallery. We essentially act as the custodian, and then they can sell it on the secondary sale marketplace inside the Apricot platform. But then if they want to withdraw it to a third-party Ethereum wallet, they certainly can do that. That would start requiring MetaMask. So that's the part where the crypto knowledge comes into place. If you want to move it off of the Apricot ecosystem and bring it out to the rest of the crypto world.
Okay, and so as of right now, I know that I forget the royalty standard, the EIP, it was like 29 something. Anyway, that's not implemented. So obviously for all platforms, this is true, but including yours, if they move it off the platform, that stops the secondary royalties, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that EIP is super interesting, right? So you can have an NFT require require a royalty payment. That EIP needs to be implemented on at least my understanding of it is on a marketplace by marketplace level. So I think I assume it'll probably be just a matter of months until all the marketplace is implemented, but it seems like we're a little bit before that.
Yeah.
So right now, if people are trading secondary sales inside of Apricot, the royalty is happening because we're kind of controlling the payment. And then in the future, if somebody takes the NFT to a marketplace that that has the royalty EIP implemented, then the royalty will take place. To me, the most interesting thing about the kind of royalty mindset as far as NFTs go is if somebody trades the NFT like OTC over the counter, I trade you cash for an NFT, we ran into each other in the grocery store, whatever it might be. There's not a super sophisticated way to have a percentage royalty there. There's some ideas that we've been thinking about that could kind of continue to unfold. Obviously, that's an edge case, and most of the NFT trading is happening digitally and virtually, and not OTC. But yeah, I think the whole ecosystem will be implementing that standard shortly, especially once it kind of moves on from being a proposal.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, an EIP is an Ethereum improvement proposal, which just means they are proposing changes. And so that's something that we're waiting for. I know a lot of artists are curious about that. So for right now, it would make more sense to keep them on the platform,
right?
Just to keep those royalties in place. So moving on to my next question. Excuse my parrot. I don't know if you can hear that. So the question is, do you plan to create social media accounts, Discord, Twitter, and help to promote artists on the platform?
Yeah, I mean, we have, a Twitter account, an Instagram account. We don't really have much traffic there. The way that things are early days at Apricot. We've been just trying to build this easiest to use, most beautiful product for creators. So right now it's really up to the creator to kind of bring their own audience that they've generated. But as we continue to unfold over the coming weeks, months, and years here, we'll obviously drive more demand where there can be some discoverability or traffic for the creator on our site.
Okay, another thing I want to address before I keep with the questions is, could you explain perks, right? Because that's another really interesting part of the Hello Apricot platform. Some would call it like unlockable content, but you guys are doing it in a way that I think is interesting. And so could you go into that so that artists understand what that means?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the whole kind of conception around a perk or an unlockable content was really from what we've seen over, even from CryptoKitties, and then this boom in the last 4 to 6 months of NFTs, is that the top creators have been basically very visual by nature of the NFT, a lot of visual artists. And certainly there are so many creative creators and craftspeople who have a craft that is not necessarily visual art. We're talking to a number of people in the MMA world who want to get into NFTs, but obviously the visual collectible component isn't necessarily the thing that's most aligned with them as a creator. And so what perks are is exactly what you said. It's unlockable content, whereby when somebody purchases an NFT, the owner of that NFT gets the perks or the unlockable content or whatever it might be that the creator associated with that NFT. And those can be things that are digital, like access to a Discord server, or some exclusive video, exclusive media. We've had some creators sell meet and greets this way, which has been fun to connect with their audience and just have 20-minute phone calls with folks in their audience. People have put links to Discord servers behind this. You and I have talked about some other things around access to private clubhouse rooms and things of that nature.
That would be cool. Yeah. So, I mean, you just gave me an idea because you were talking about creators that are not, let's say artists, like a fitness blogger, right? Can create an NFT And by holding this NFT, one of the perks could be an exclusive, exclusive video or one-on-one, session with them, right? And you guys help to automate that process, which is pretty cool. My experience with the platform has been interesting because you guys are new. And so I, think like I really appreciate how responsive you've been to some of the questions I've had and like some suggestions. But like one of the things, I started an NFT for the community, for the Nifty Farm community. And one of the things was like scheduling a meeting, a one-on-one consultation with me, right, as part of it, and they can redeem it. And the way it was redeemed was interesting. I didn't put the link in there, but I know that in the future I could have that automatic link go out to them.
Right.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So hopefully that clears, people understand like how this is a little bit different.
We're moving on more, just to add on to that, we're getting more sophisticated with the perks every day. It's an iterative process, largely working closely with the creators who are on the platform. And yeah, the end game is of course to have it as like streamlined and automated as possible.
Very cool. Yeah, that's kind of what excites me too, to be here so early, because I do see this platform, just the friction you're taking out of the process. I think that this could be a really big deal for a lot of people, especially for those who are not as crypto aware. And then just the fact that you can sell to non-crypto aware audiences. They don't even need to know they have an NFT. Like when they understand it's an NFT, then they can, hey, I want to hold it in my own wallet. They can, but they don't have to, right? Which is very cool. So my next question for you is, could you break down the secondary sales structure? Like how does that work? Because it's not, some people have had questions about that.
Yeah. And, some of this is still being built out, but basically it's pretty simple today. Let's say you create an NFT, I buy it, and then I want to list it in the marketplace. I set a price for it, a 10% fee is basically added to that, and so it goes on sale for 10% higher than what listed it for, and that's the creator's cut in there.
So the creator gets the full amount, and the 10% added is what the platform takes?
No, this is for a secondary sale, right? So the collector one who buys the NFT, they get the full amount that they list. And then and then of that 10%, the creator gets 8.5% of that, and we take 1.5% of of that 10%.
Okay, but so there's no way for the artist to set the secondary royalties right now.
Currently, no. We've just standardized it.
Okay.
But that's a very good feature request.
Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of platforms do that, and I know that some people like that flexibility. The other thing that I didn't even mention that I love about your platform is the focus on giving back, right? Yeah. Which I love that. So the thing that drew me, one of the things is you get this little heart on your profile that shows what charities you support, right? And so I'd like to see that. I know we talked about some things of how you can make that more like prominent, because I know a lot of people in this space really care about giving back, but could you talk about like what the idea was behind that and what you plan to do with that?
Yeah. So it's pretty simple right now, where a creator can just select the charity that they want to support. And essentially they've got a slider bar that says what percentage of their earnings they want to donate. We just handle the donations on our side and send the creators confirmation of donations after a sale has been completed. And yeah, as you mentioned, it shows visually within the product.
Yeah, that's super cool. So like one of the charities that I really like was called the Unstoppable Foundation. So as soon as I saw that, I'm like, yeah, I'm adding them there. So you guys are just making manual payments for that, right? In other words,
for the charities?
Yeah.
Right. So far, things are pretty early. So it's frankly done pretty manually just by our team. There's a lot of more sophistication to add there over time around being able to do it programmatically. There's a lot of kind of third-party platforms out there that let you do donations programmatically via APIs. But yeah, our intent is always to be able to not be limited in that. If somebody puts a charity in there that doesn't have a 501c distinction, that's something that we would message the creator and say, hey, it doesn't really look like this charity is legitimate or whatever it might be. You sure you want to do this? But yeah, the underlying kind of intent here is to keep it as generalized as possible. So if there's groups that the creator wants to be able to support, they're able to do so.
Very cool. Yeah, I like that. So another question that I got was, can we split royalties with different artists who want to do collaboration? And I know we talked about this briefly.
Yeah, that's something
before.
we can do. Like if people want to get in touch with us directly, that's something that we can totally set up manually. There's no UI for that yet. But we totally can support that with our underlying infrastructure. So that's something we can support today on on an ad hoc basis if people want to get in touch.
Okay, I'll definitely direct them, and this video should direct them to reach out to you. Yeah, I know a lot of musicians are working with visual artists, right? Because just having audio as an NFT is not as interesting as having both. So a lot of collaboration is going on in this space, especially from the Clubhouse social media side of things. Is there's a lot of people getting together and collaborating.
Totally. So, and it's a kind of a pain in the butt for two people who've met on Clubhouse, and they have to figure out how they get a contract in one another, and one of them has to send out the tax documentations. Yeah, if they just get in touch with us, we'll handle it.
That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, I know that's a hot feature. That's a really, because that's what a lot of people are moving or they're being attracted to cargo.build, which allows people to do I think up to 15 different collaborators or something like that. So that's a big deal. So the next question I have for you is, can we add a profile video to the creator page? So this was also one of my questions. Can we do more with the creator page? Is there plans to be able to customize that in any way on the creator?
That should be up this week in terms of some more customization to the creator page. Okay,
cool. Okay. So another question here is, when they were testing, somebody was testing the platform, mm-hmm. and they wanted to know how they could edit the details or maybe burn an NFT once it was created. Is that possible?
Not today. That's a very near-term feature.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big, cause I know a lot of people are experimenting and then it's out there and they're like, oh, I didn't want that out there. So as of right now, we can't edit them once they're put out.
Yeah. Right now, once the page is out, it's out, but that's as you mentioned, something obvious for us to put a fix into.
Okay. How would you guys do that? Without maybe going into the technical details, because once it goes out to the blockchain, obviously it's out there, but mm-hmm. how can you say edit or append, right? That NFT, is that technically easily possible? So,
the things that you can edit would be the perks and the details and the description and the amount of time that you wanted left on the sale. And then for the NFT, you obviously couldn't edit that. That would need to be burned and reminted.
Okay, got you. So that's coming soon. Okay. And then my last question that I got from the group was, again, with the payments, was the only way they can get paid right now was Stripe. There was no way to get Ethereum payouts or people to buy it on OpenSea or something like that.
Yeah, we're looking into the best way to syndicate through the other platforms, but currently things are done via Stripe. And then and this is something that we talked about before. I know this isn't one of your questions, but I also want to mention another one of the intentions. Right now, our focus is really how can we go get the next million creators who think that NFTs are too complicated and bring them into the space. But then phase two is moving this away from centralized infrastructure and having this all be supported via Arweave and decentralized infrastructure. We've got, this isn't something that's a near-term thing, but we've got some token ideas and how can this be governed by a DAO. So I also want to mention that kind of stuff is on the horizon too. Obviously, it's on us to make this platform to be as streamlined and beautiful as possible right now. But yeah, for me, one of the most exciting things about being in the crypto space is the notion that my team and I, that we can build a product that can last long beyond our lives, can last for hundreds and thousands of years. So I want to mention that underlying motivation as it relates to enabling creators to to generate earnings for themselves.
I'm so glad you went there and you said that, because that was, being in the crypto space, you've been in the crypto space since 2013. I've been around since 2014. And, the sentiment there is like something like this would be like selling out or going against the ethos, because you're not using crypto and all that. But what I want to stress is like, you guys do have you guys do believe in that vision of the future, and you guys do have plans to go that route. But in order to get adoption, in order to make things easier for people, like the blockchain needs to be on the back end. Like nobody cares how your cell phone works. They just care that it works, right? You don't know the technical details of the network and all that. And I think that crypto native people are more excited about the technical details and the technology and what it allows, that they forget that real, grandmas need to be able to use this. Right. So definitely glad you shared that's in the works. Very cool. I'm really, that was the thing that sold me. Cause initially I heard about this and I was like, okay, well, this looks pretty centralized, where are they going to go with this? But then when I heard that you guys had plans for that, I was like, okay, this is very cool.
Yeah. I mean, then there's trade-offs, right? Like, I think we're talking about NFTs and Apricot right here, but even just to take a half step back and look at the crypto ecosystem at large, like one kind of metaphor that I think about in terms of mainstream crypto adoption is if you were to go to like a 10-person software engineering team and say, hey, folks, what operating system are you running on your computer? 6 of them might say, oh, I'm running Mac OS. And then 3 of them might say, oh, I'm running Windows. And then you have one person that goes, oh, I'm running Linux on this. And they're doing it because there's like an ideological motivation around open source technology, which resonates with me deeply. But also, we don't want crypto to end up that way as like what Linux is to operating system. Don't want
makes sense.
As that to the financial infrastructure, right? Like that would be a
political stance, basically, or ideological stance.
And it's not the global maximum as far as adoption goes. And so I'm just very aware that could be a place where we end up as like an industry at large. So going after like large scale adoption seems like a priority for the crypto space. And then as we decentralize and as more people get access to these things, like certainly some people will only ever use centralized systems. So for example, if you think about like Facebook's coin, for example, like probably most people who trade in Facebook's coin will never buy Bitcoin or never buy Ethereum or never get interested in those ecosystems, but there'll be a subset of people who get introduced to the decentralized world through Facebook coins. So like, even though there's, I don't mean to like derail the conversation, even though there's like a lot of kind of fear and uncertainty around Facebook coin, and it's very reasonable that there would be, at the same time, by getting people using tokens, getting people using wallets, that's a big deal to make sure that like there can be a true kind of mainstream adoption, because in my view, we have not even reached the starting line from where we're going around, society, or parts of it at least, leveraging these decentralized technologies.
I agree. And I think it's visionary of you to see it that way. Because like I said, a lot of people in the crypto space, they're so wrapped up. A lot of them are developers, right? And they're so wrapped up in what this technically does, right? And in the ethos of what it means, that they forget like we need adoption, right? And that's, you need users, you need people who want to use this, who do use this. And I think platforms like Hello Apricot you're innovating, right? In many ways, you're innovating what some of these other platforms are not doing. And I think that there's a chance for those artists that are, already on the NFT marketplaces to check out your platform and fall in love with it. But I also think that the NFT artists that haven't entered, right, yet, that are kind of looking at this, like Hello Apricot would be the place to look at and start, because it removes that complexity. And I like that.
Yeah. And we want to do it together. Like some of the creators who have been leveraging our system, we're having, regular calls with and getting a sense of what are the perks that they want. We're exploring a bunch of really interesting ideas, some really novel use cases for NFTs. So yeah, super excited to be on this path, and happy we've got some collaboration between us too.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, so we're sitting at the 30-minute mark. I don't want to take up your whole day, but I wanted to ask you one last question: is how can people get in touch with you or your team?
Yeah.
To communicate with you guys, and anything else you want to leave us with?
Yeah, totally. I mean, our support email is listed all over the website. If people want to reach out to me personally, I'm just david@helloapricot.com. Be happy to have any conversations. And other than that, as you mentioned, we remove all the complexity. We're paying the gas fees. The kind of the thing that I want to leave folks with is a lens that I take near and dear is just start trying things, just start experimenting.
Yeah. And that's one thing we didn't touch about was the gas fees. We didn't even mention it, right? Mm-hmm. There are no gas fees on your platform.
That's right.
Because it's built on layer 2 Polygon Matic, correct?
Yep. And then we just handle all of the minting. So, frankly, it's relatively inexpensive, all things considered, to do the minting because it is built on Matic / new name Polygon. So yeah, it's free to mint and free to purchase from a gas perspective.
And it's eco-friendly to the, it's a proof of stake versus proof of work.
Yeah,
consensus.
Much more climate friendly from what I've got from the Matic and Polygon team. Like we're talking, proof of stake is generating less than 1% of what the CO2 is being generated from the proof of work chain. So yeah, great.
I got you.
To end on. That's excellent.
Yeah. I know I've interacted with you and I understand these things, but some of the people that are going to watch this will not have understood. They didn't know those things, and I could have led with that, like, hey, there's no gas fees on this platform, and this is another reason why you want to be here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I appreciate your time. I want to thank you for sitting with me and just spending this time answering the questions and whatever. And I really hope to see this platform succeed. I'm impressed. I like interacting with you. I've had a good interaction, good connection with you. And I think that's interesting because I've never had the ability to communicate with a builder of a platform. So you're taking the input of creators and stuff. So that makes it more so like it's our platform because you're taking our suggestions,
Totally. And when we, in the future have a token, that will even be more true.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, man. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time.
Amazing. Likewise. Talk to you in a bit.
All right.